Navy veteran Stephanie Kemgard is heading to the Virginia Supreme Court in her battle to get in-state tuition. George Mason University denied her residency claim because the Navy had transferred her out of state. Virginia education guidelines say military transfers do not affect residency. The university says Kemgard getting a Washington state license was what changed it. Kemgard won in a lower court, but the Virginia Supreme Court will have the final say.
D.C. public schools are one of the major issues facing the city. Earlier this month, one of Washington's most well-known figures in education was back in town. Colin Campbell has a report.
The former chancellor of D.C. public schools is back in D.C. talking about education reform. Michelle Rhee is out with a new book this month and was in D.C. signing books Friday. Rhee says her new book takes on her critics and defends the decisions she made during her time working as the head of the D.C. public school system.
My heart is with kids and in schools, working with teachers and families. I loved my job in D.C.
Rhee's new book is called Radical, Fighting to Put Students First. And at Friday's book talk, she called herself a radical reformer. One look at Rhee's record, and you get what she's talking about. In the first year on the job, Rhee fired 36 principals and shut down 23 schools across the city. In 2008, Rhee caused a citywide controversy when she fired the principal of this school, Oyster Adams in Northwest D.C., where her two daughters went to school. Frederick Jacobs, the former dean of the education program at American University, says Rhee's approach hurt the city's schools.
I think she politicized the whole educational environment, or the public education, the environment for public education. And I think she greatly weakened public education by advocating for vouchers and for charter schools.
During her time as head of the city's schools, Rhee went up against the teachers' unions and called for performance-based pay, which means paying teachers based off students' test scores. The country's two biggest teacher unions say Rhee was ineffective, but Rhee says her approach is the right one and that it has bipartisan support.
Chris Christie supports us, Brian Sandoval in Nevada supports us. Guess what? So does Rahm Emanuel and Antonio Villaraigosa and Cory Booker and my husband, who are some of the most prominent Democrats in the party. So this is actually the cool thing about what we're doing, is that this is bipartisan.
Since resigning from her job in 2010, Rhee moved to California and has started a nonprofit called Students First. In Washington, Colin Campbell for District Wire News.
The FDA approved a new drug on Friday that treats breast cancer. The drug combines the commonly used Herceptin with a new powerful agent. FDA officials say the drug could extend the survival rate by another 6 months. However, the drug would cost patients $94,000. The drug will be available in 2 weeks.
If you're a sushi lover, a new study might have you questioning what you're eating. Environmental organization Oceana says that 1/3 of all seafood is mislabeled. It says it's unclear if the mislabeling is intentional or just ignorant of fish types. The mislabeling is not just limited to sushi restaurants. The group says grocery stores are also guilty. Oceana says the mislabeling could lead to health problems if not corrected. It is unclear if the FDA will investigate.
Hollywood is buzzing after last night's 85th Annual Academy Awards. The award for Best Picture went to Ben Affleck's Argo and was presented by a very special guest. First Lady Michelle Obama was live from the White House and was introduced by Jack Nicholson to present the award. Mrs. Obama applauded all the Best Picture nominee films for their uplifting qualities. Not only was there a visit from the First Lady, but the Oscars also had a little DC flair. Sean Fine and Andrea Nix are bringing home the Oscar for Best Documentary Short for their film Innocente. Fine showed his hometown pride by sporting red and gold socks and tweeting at RG3, who responded with, "Awesome, LOL."
For the next month, the Kennedy Center will showcase Northern European cultures. The Nordic Cool Festival features music, theater and dance, exhibitions, film, and literature. Kennedy Center officials say Americans know surprisingly little about the Nordic countries. Exhibits will fill the Kennedy Center as visitors will have the opportunity to learn about Nordic fashion, the history of the Nobel Prize, as well as Nordic art and architecture. The festival runs through March 17th.
Local celebrity cupcake chef Catherine Berman has her own little cupcake this past Monday. Berman and husband Ben welcomed their baby girl named Isis, weighing in at 7 pounds 2 ounces. Berman is the co-owner of Georgetown Cupcake with her sister. That's all we have for you tonight. I'm Kelly Chase.
I'm Chris O'Dobb. Thank you for watching. Have a good night.